What is up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be talking about which main Jojo villains deserve to be locked up in Arkham Asylum. Now, Arkham Asylum is for the clinically insane. So if you're just, if you're just kind of a bad guy, you're going straight to prison. You ain't going to Arkham Asylum, you're going to prison. Now, the difference with Arkham Asylum and a regular asylum is Arkham Asylum obviously has more people. I feel like Jojo villains would fit more Arkham Asylum than just a regular asylum, because Arkham Asylum's got people like Killer Croc, the Joker, Poison Ivy, people who can't just be in a regular asylum because of who they are and what their powers are. With that being said, some Jojo characters being locked away in Arkham and not just being killed may be very dangerous, but we are willing to take that chance because Batman has the no killing rule and we are not going to do that. So somehow, some way, just theoretically, if we could get, obviously it's gonna be a little weird, but let's just jump right into it with part 1 Dio. Part 1 Dio, should he be in Arkham or should he just go to prison? Now, obviously, if these people go to prison, I'm pretty sure they're just gonna get the death penalty, because I'm pretty sure you can't get the death penalty if you are insane or whatever. If you plead insanity, I'm pretty sure. But if these people do go to prison, they are probably gonna get the death penalty. I mean, concerning part 1, Dio has murdered definitely over at least 50 people by now. The amount of people he's turning into zombies and all that bull, and he basically is hiring prostitutes at some point, I'm pretty sure. Maybe he is, or maybe he's just bribing them with money. Who knows? I mean, part 1 Dio is a kind of a demon, sexual harassment too, but is he going to Arkham? Would I consider part 1 Dio insane? Maybe. You could just be like, oh, he's just a bad person. He just is very selfish and greedy, and I don't see any crazy bad things about him that makes it seem like, oh, he should be in Arkham. I kind of have he can get away with just going to prison, to be honest. So I'm gonna say part 1 Dio is going straight to prison, but that's just me. I don't think he maybe could be insane. He maybe could plead insanity, but I would say he's going straight to prison, and he gonna have to be in front of the sun to get executed or something like that. But after part 1 Dio is Cars from part 2. Cars from part 2. Cars going to the asylum or going to prison. I don't think Cars is insane. He does he is kind of messed up in the head. He is out here killing people. But if you think about it, I think Cars has a similar mindset maybe to Poison Ivy, because he does have some points. Not to be that guy who's sympathizing with the villain or whatever, but Cars does have some points to his ideology a little bit. He does have a little bit of a point. I feel like from Cars' standpoint, for one, he doesn't want to harm the earth itself or kill animals. He in fact saves animals more, like the dog or stuff like that, and not wanting to, kill a plant by landing on it. So Cars definitely kind of is reminds me of Poison Ivy in that scene, but he thinks that humans are a plague to the earth, which, to be fair, sometimes humans do some pretty diabolical things. But at the same time, Cars, you kind of did murder your whole race. So I don't know if he's just off the hook just like that, but I do see where Cars is coming from a certain standpoint. It's not like he's just doing this because, oh, he's selfish or he wants to. He definitely does somewhat have kind of a point, but at the same time, it's dude, you're murdering people, And maybe you can say that humans do that to animals because we believe that we have intellect and we're a higher life form than the animals, right? Which some humans are kind of jacked up in that way where they kind of abuse animals and stuff like that. And, you know, obviously people see themselves as above animals, while cars can say, well, I'm a pillarman, so I see myself above humans. You know what I'm saying? So he does kind of have a point in that regard. So I wouldn't say he's insane for that. I'd say Cars kind of just is going to have to go to prison because I don't trust Cars. If he pleaded insanity, that's just like, nah, you're not getting away with that, dog. Like, no. He is jacked up, but he's not jacked up to a point where he can plead insanity. You know, he has a mental illness. Like, no, you're not getting away with that, dog. You're going straight to prison, bruh. So, Cars will go to prison. After Cars is Part 3 Dio. Part 3 Dio going to prison or Arkham Asylum. I would probably say the same thing about Part 1 Dio as I said with Part 3. He's not too different, really. He's just more, I guess, manipulative. But he was fairly manipulative in Part 1 as well. But we can add on, like, I guess, maybe the grooming, I guess. Because, you know, him and Pucci definitely are a bit weird. But I feel like he does do a bit more weirdness. But I would basically say the same thing I said about Part 1 as with Part 3. And that Dio, I wouldn't say is insane. He's just very, you know, selfish and greedy, and he wants to be all powerful, you know, like, that's what I would say about Dio. I do think Dio is kind of jacked up in the head. He may have some type of mental illness, but at the same time, it's like, dude, maybe the same point applies to vampires as humans, but I think it's just I think it's a tiny bit different. But I don't know, man. I think Pillarmen are just so, like, they're basically gods to humans. While vampires, you can kind of have some, it's definitely not even, kind of, you know, like, vampires probably might be a bit stronger, but it's just, they're not on the same level as Pillarmen to me, so I wouldn't consider Dio's argument too much, you know, crazy. And also, other people can become vampires, so it's not just like, oh, well, Dio's just like, you know, his own thing, you know. Pillarmen, I don't think can be made like that, so. And Dio was also born a human, so it's a bit different, you know. I like Diego better anyway. Nah, I'm just joking. I love Dio as well, but I will say that Dio is just gonna go to prison again for the second time. After Dio, Part 3 Dio is Part 4 is Yoshikage Kira. Yoshikage Kira, is he insane? He has some, like, qualities of, like, yeah, he doesn't really seem insane. But he is a serial killer, and he does have a weird fetish with hands, but fetish does not mean insane. He does not mean he belongs in Arkham Asylum. He does kind of remind me, gives me Victor Zsasz vibes, but a little bit, but not too much, you know, because he does, like, he has, like, conflicting ideologies in his head, where it's like, oh, I want to live a peaceful life, but oh, well, I want to kill these people and take their hands. So it is, like, kind of a weird thing with Yoshikage Kira. I feel like Kira has, like, a weird middle ground, maybe he could go, like, because I feel like a small part of him does, like, or like a good part of him does feel like he wants to live a, you know, a peaceful life of tranquility and serenity. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you must have self-control if you want to do that. You can make the argument he might be able to go in an asylum. It could go either way, to be honest, with Yoshikage Kira. He may be able to go to the asylum. He may be able to go to prison. I'm on the fence about it because of his head. The way he thinks is not like, oh, I'm just doing this for selfish desires, or I'm doing this because it's weird. But then again, just because he can't control his desires doesn't mean he doesn't go to prison and goes to the asylum. So you can make the argument, oh, well, he deserves to go to prison because, you know, he's just another serial killer who just let his desires get the best of him. Or you can say, well, because he has a conflicting mind, it maybe can be classified as insanity. I really don't know what the right call is for this one, so I'll let you guys choose in the comments. I personally think I would probably say prison, maybe. But it could go either way for me, to be honest. You guys let me know what y'all think in the comments for this character, Yoshikage Kira, because he is a bit more confusing than Dio in Cars, at least. After Yoshikage Kira is Diavolo and Doppio. This guy might be also kind of hard because he's got a dual personality thing going on. Multiple personality disorder, I'm pretty sure is what it's called, but I don't know if that, I mean, in a way it could classify, because Two-Face is in Arkham Asylum. So what makes Diavolo so much different than Two-Face for him to not be in Arkham Asylum? It's very, very, like, confusing to me, but I don't know for sure, at least, you know. Really, I would probably say, yeah, he should probably go in Arkham Asylum. But you just, because the way his two minds think don't really clash. They more so just work together. So maybe it's like, oh, well, because of that, you know, he seems like he has a lot of control over his body. You know, he seems like he knows what he's doing is wrong and he's still doing it. And he is like dumb smart, he's in charge of the mafia or whatever, so, you know, he's not a fool and he's not like in pain or he's not doing anything bad because or because he can't control himself like that. But I'd still put him in Arkham Asylum because of what he has, which is, you know, the multiple personality disorder thing. Like, the dude has that, like, come on, man, like, he definitely gotta be in Arkham Asylum. Two-Face is a prime example of that, so I would say, yeah, Diavolo and Doppio, they go in, you know, Arkham Asylum. After Diavolo in Part 5 and Doppio is Pucci from Part 6. Pucci, I'm just gonna say Pucci's gonna go to the Asylum. I think Pucci deserves to be in the Asylum because, yeah, he may seem like he's completely fine or, like, is just a very, like, deluded person on the surface, but I think in his mind it's like, this man's mental state is so bad that I feel like he genuinely thinks that he is doing good for the world. You know, that's pretty insane. Now, you can make him, maybe he is doing a little bit good for the world, but it's like, nah, I wouldn't say he's necessarily doing good for the world by letting everyone see their own fate. Maybe you could say that, you can argue that, again, just like with Cars, but I feel like Pucci is just genuinely insane, you know, like, this guy is pretty balls to the walls, like, not gonna lie, he's pretty insane. The dude is doing diabolical things to people without any remorse because he can just say, well, you know, I'm doing this for the world. It gives heavy Zamasu vibes to me, and that's not great. I wouldn't say he's like you know, he goes to prison because he genuinely thinks what he's doing is good. I think he is pure-hearted in a way of, like, he genuinely thinks that this man, he thinks he's actually helping people and doing good for the world. He's not like Dio or Cars where it's like, or at least Dio where it's like, yeah, he kind of knows what he's doing is messed up and he doesn't care. Or like Cars where he thinks he's above other people because of his, you know, his race or whatever, his higher life form, I guess. And, you know, this guy Pucci is just like, seems actually insane to me, so I probably would just say he goes straight to Arkham Asylum for me, I guess. I don't think he goes to prison, just because of the way he thinks. After Pucci is Part 7, Steel Part 1, Funny Valentine. I don't think Funny Valentine is insane. I think he's just very, very patriotic. That's a pretty good way to describe him. I mean, he was, like, had a pretty, you know, jacked up, like, upbringing and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say he's like, oh, man, this dude is, like, you know, he's insane. He does do jacked up things, and he looks down upon others, which is you know, not really great. But I wouldn't say this man is clinically insane. I would say, like, more so he's just, like, think of him as like a dude on the other side of a war. I would say, like, yeah, he's just the president of another country, you know. So I'd say Funny Valentine isn't clinically insane. He does do weird stuff, and he is kind of like flaw for the stuff he tried with Lucy and all the murder and stuff like that, but I wouldn't say the guy is clinically insane. I'd say, like, he's definitely just goes straight to prison. War crimes over here, bruh. But he is, you know, he is Funny Valentine. He's my president, so, you know, gotta respect. Afterwards is Toru. You guys let me know what Toru should be in the comments down below. I haven't read part 8, so you guys let me know if you think he should be in the Arkham Asylum or if you think the dude should just go to prison. You know, you guys let me know what Toru should be down in the comments below. But that is going to be it for this video, you guys. Sorry for what's on screen right now, but you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you didn't, make sure to check out my Mario and Sonic video. I did try to branch out and make a new kind of video with that one, so if you guys want to watch something like different, check that video out. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace.
Yeah.